Nikolas Cruz has had quite a bit of political influence, to say the least. I mean, there's Never Again, there's March for Our Lives, there's, people calling for the army of teachers, there's people calling for armed security at schools, and just everything. And, I mean, Stephen Paddock and Omar Mantine killed a lot of people, way more than Nikolas Cruz. Yet, Nikolas Cruz has rocked the boat, shake the foundations of this country, unlike anyone since Elliot Rodger. And that was years ago. But, anyway, Elliot Rodger did not have a very high kill tally. His total amounted to 6 people. Only 6. Yet, he left a trail of YouTube videos, and not to mention a 137-page manifesto. But, Elliot Rodger was pretty good at burning himself into the pages of infamy forever. He accomplished that task remarkably well. And, Nikolas Cruz is an especially interesting case because, like James Holmes, he survived, unlike a lot of other spree killers. And, there's people calling for all this crap, trying to use him to push their political agendas. But, I mean, Nikolas Cruz probably had a bigger influence than Elliot Rodger because I don't remember there being any marches or anything like that. I do remember a few hashtags like yes all women, no not all men, and that sort of stuff. But Nikolas Cruz and Elliot Rodger pretty much showed how social media has changed the world. I mean, there was a big moral panic after Columbine. There was, that's how zero tolerance policies got a big boost. I mean, they were just flipping out over everything. I mean, they would kick kids out of school for having plastic knives, screaming, "That's a weapon!" But anyway, so yeah, there was a moral panic and everything like that, and it changed quite a few things. Nikolas Cruz, I mean, it's like they have like clear backpacks now, and David Hogg, he's just crying up a storm. It's fun watching him squirm. But in any case, the reality is that we have people outright talking about repealing the Second Amendment now. And that's just something that only existed in, the nightmares of some far-right loony. But no, now it's actually real. There are actually people talking about doing that. And I'm not talking about nobodies. I'm talking about, a former judge and things like that. I don't remember exactly what his position was. I don't remember if it was Supreme Court or Superior Court or District Court or Court of Appeals or whatever. I don't remember what his position was or what kind of office he held or what kind of title he held. I just know that he was a judge. And that being said, there is just so much stuff that Nikolas Cruz did. I mean, he left an online trail, a digital trail, that wasn't too much like unlike Elliot Rodger's, but it was a lot less pronounced. Well, it was a lot less pronounced than Elliot Rodger, that's for sure. But it is noted that he did admire Elliot Rodger and Charles Whitman. And if you're not familiar with Charles Whitman, look him up, or better yet, watch my video about him. And, all these student walkouts, I mean, a lot of those kids, I guarantee you, are just using it as an excuse to get out of class for a short while. And I can't blame them. I hated school. it taught me nothing of value. Well, very little of value. It taught me some things, but other than that, no. I taught myself most of this stuff that I'm preaching to you now, that I'm talking about now, preaching to you now, educating you about and all that. But in any case, you have the clear backpacks, you have the marches, you have the walkouts, you have the calls to armed teachers, you have the calls for armed security, you have the calls for gun control, you have the calls to even repeal the Second Amendment. I mean, this guy really made an impact. And, but as monstrous as his actions were, the impact is because of social media, not because of him per se. I mean, if the news had never reported on it, we would never know about Nikolas Cruz. His name would be all but forgotten. And that's why these people do this shit. Is because, they normally want to commit suicide, but they want to do it in a big way. If they just blow their brains out, they'll die anonymously. So, if they're going to die, they want to go out with a bang, or better yet, a boom, as opposed to merely just offing themselves and becoming a mere statistic. Anyway, you can also, Nikolas Cruz has also developed quite a bit of a fan club. It's not uncommon for these sorts of guys to have fan clubs. Richard Ramirez had a fan club, Ted Bundy had a fan club, James Holmes had a fan club, and now he's got a fan club, and Charles Manson had a fan club. And there's a lot of crazy people out there, and when one of these guys gets captured alive, it just brings all the weirdos out of the woodwork, which is another thing that is causing this big shitstorm. And it's going to go on for a long time. This is going to last a lot longer than, Elliot Roger, because this guy's still alive. They're going to be covering his trial. They're going to be covering all this stuff. They're going to be covering his sentence. And if he's sentenced to death, he'll get even more publicity because he'll be, getting a whole bunch of appeals and all that junk. And if he gets executed, assuming he doesn't kill himself in prison, or is killed in prison, it's going to be national news, just like Ted Bundy's execution was. I mean, like a crowd of estimated 500 was out there holding signs like "Burn Bundy, burn! Roses are red, violets are blue. Good morning, Ted. We're going to kill you," and all that bullshit. But anyway, Nikolas Cruz will probably be making a few appearances in the news later on this year, and if he's sentenced to death, he'll make a few more appearances over the coming years. And anyway, that's just the gist of it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace out for now.